UK-based African siblings are facing up to 54 years behind bar. These two boys, they are their mother's only two children. Their father initially left the relationship, and the man is now asking himself, what has he done? Parents are blaming themselves for this young boy's outcome. The dad said this is spiritual attack, that the only way he can describe what happened to his family is spiritual attack. Let me know what your views are about the story of these two young boys, highly promising young boys that were full of life and potential. In fact, a lot of people thought this young boy, one of them was going to go to Cambridge. How did two promising young people end up facing up to 54 years behind bar? If you know anyone who lives in the Western world who has children, especially young black boys, please kindly ensure that they see this, because what happened to these young brothers, it can happen to any child growing up in the Western world. Good morning. If you want to stay informed about immigrant daily lived experience, this is where you will hear the latest update to inform and educate our audience. Knowledge, they say, is power. Frank is my name. Let us dive into the story of these young boys today. These boys, they live in London. Their parents are fully settled. They were doing their parents were doing very well. All of a sudden, the father lost his job in the banking sector in the UK. The man did struggle to recover after that incident. The man initially tried other things. He was doing taxi. He struggled. He could not believe that he that was working in the city of London any more than 100,000 is now doing taxi. The man went through a spiral of depression. One of his friends that they came from the same country advised him to go back to Africa and start farming, because the guy did that. The guy left the UK, his childhood friend, and he was doing very well. He owns a very big farm in their home country. And he's called his friend. He said, Moses, instead of you to be feeling sorry for yourself, Africa is full of milk and honey, opportunities. Don't waste your time here. In fact, the thing that happened to you, which made you to lose your job, maybe it was destined to happen so that you can open more doors for you. Moses said, are you serious? He said, yes. Moses listened to his friend. The time this was happening, his children were just coming past 16 years old. These two boys. Moses then left. He went to their home country. He sold some of the belongings that he had here. The wife, they agreed that he would go and start this business in Africa. The wife initially told him that she did not want him to go. She wanted Moses to stay because she felt that their children, they were at the most critical stage in their life, and they saw their father as their role model. Moses is the one that used to take these boys to school. In fact, one of them was playing for Millwall Football Club Academy. And this boy is very close to his father. The mom said to the dad, please, I know things are rough for you. Why don't you delay this trip? Moses then said, no, I want to go because I am tired of living as a slave in this country. I'm not happy. The woman said, because she noticed that the husband was becoming depressed, he was drinking too much alcohol, to get up in the morning was a problem. She said, okay, instead of me to leave you here in the UK and you are aspiring towards the path of depression, maybe you should just go back to our home country and do what you want to do. They agreed, and Moses left. When Moses then went to their home country, Moses said that was one of the biggest mistakes he made in his life. One of the girls that was working for him in his business in the home country, Moses said one thing led to another. He started seeing this girl. In fact, when I spoke with Mr. Moses, Moses told me that he believes that these girls use black magic for him. He said, Frank, this girl, she's not even pretty. I look at myself, how did I end up with this girl? When Moses then started relationship with this girl, the wife said she noticed that Moses wasn't calling the family again. To call Moses that used to call the boys every night, if every night changed to twice a week, from twice a week, Moses hardly called these children. These boys, they were angry. They were angry because their parents did not consult them before Moses packed his bag and headed back to Africa. The boys could not understand why last week their father took them to football training, and this week their father is now living in Africa. They didn't know what was going on. The boys started displaying behaviors in school. And school noticed that a boy that was doing extremely well, why all of a sudden this boy is not displaying challenging behavior. This boy is now facing suspension. This boy is now knocking around with the wrong people that smoke cannabis in school. They called mom and said, look, we've noticed that your children, especially the oldest one, his life has done 360-degree from somebody who we used to put up in debating society, somebody that used to be a shining example in South London where we live. Now, this kid is not the one that all the drug dealers, he's not knocking around with the bad boys in school. The mom called the children. The boy said, no, mom, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. Meanwhile, mom is a full-time NHS nurse. She's a nurse and a midwife. She's got the two license. Mom said she needed to put food on the table. When Moses has gone to their home country, she was the only one that was paying the bills and doing everything at home. Before you know it, the boy that never smoked cannabis before, he started lighting cannabis and smoking. The boy was smoking cannabis and he then ran into debt. Before you know it, this boy could not pay the debt that he owed the drug dealer. One thing led to another. The drug dealer called him and said, look, since you cannot pay the money that you owe, then you need to do some work for me. Most young children that end up dealing in drugs once they spiral into the habit where they start smoking cannabis, before you know it, they will start owing money. My brother and my sister, you have to be very, very alert. This boy that was, before you know what, the boy is now the one that is now recruiting his elder brother into drug. Elder brother that was planning, they've not finished, they've not turned 18. The elder brother that was planning to go to university, his life has changed completely. Before you know it, these young boys, they are now making a lot of money. Mom said she did not notice initially because whenever she asked the children, she see new clothes with them, she will ask them, they will say, oh, mom, he's our friend. That guy that we used to play football together, the other one is now a DJ, and they'll always give mom excuse. But because mom was not always at home, mom was always believing whatever these young boys tell her. They will tell mom, and mom will believe. Mom said she works night shift. When she comes back, she likes to sleep during the day. So mom hardly sees the children. Before you know what, Mr. Moses that said he will be coming every 3 months, 3 months has turned to 8 months. Mr. Moses is no longer coming again to see his children. These young boys, just like these other black children who are now facing this case, this is brother and sister. These ones, they've been jailed for life. These young boys in South London, they started controlling the streets. The boys were making crazy money. Mom said one day she saw this boy with car and she asked her son, you're not working. Where did you get car from? Again, this boy came up with another excuse. Mom, my friend, he hasn't got a driving license. I'm just driving. I'm the one that is helping him. He's a footballer. I drive him around to football. He doesn't have a license until that. In fact, he's even paying me money. Mom said she knows the friend, and she knows that friend, he has signed professional contract for Crystal Palace Academy, but that friend hasn't been in contact with his son. In fact, this friend doesn't even have anything to do with the children. But mom believed this boy's narrative about where he got the car. He was driving the car. Meanwhile, the younger one, the one that is now ruling the street, he is now the leader of the street gang and drug. These boys have not grown to the point where they are now ruling the street. The drug dealers were now using these boys. In fact, one of them, the mom said, what they call them, they're fearless, because whenever they mention his name on the streets of South London, nobody wants to mess around with this guy, because if people have problem, they call this kid. They said this boy who is only just turned 19. He's so ruthless to the point that he can do anything for the boss. And the bosses, they like this boy because he has the mind of a stone. Before you know what was happening, these young boys, they said somebody was messing around with them. The younger brother said somebody was messing around with the brother. They plan with their friend to go and not just hit, to go and kill. We are talking about young boys as young as 19 years old in South London. The boy's house is not a place that ammunitions, guns were being stored. If you have any children growing up around Croydon, Hackney, and a lot of places in London, you need to pray to God and you need to be vigilant. This young boy had guns imported from Poland that were kept in his house. Mom did not even know what was going on. Meanwhile, Moses, the girl that their father said he impregnated, the father later found out, after he had abandoned his family, he later found out that the girl had a baby. That baby is not even the father's own. The father abandoned his family completely for this girl that he met in their home country, thinking that he was going to have a new family with this girl, only for him to have this baby, and somebody now come forward and said, I am the father of this baby. And the man said, no. They did DNA test. They now found out that the baby girl that Mr. Moses thought he had in his home country is not his. The man, by the time he now realized, he tried to build relationship with his family. His wife said, no, I have moved on. I cannot do this anymore. You abandon us. Mr. Moses is now in shame. His business back home, according to the wife, the business is gone down the drain. His family have gone drain. The only two children, only two boys that he has, these two boys have now been arrested for attempted murder. In fact, according to the mom, these boys planned murder because they wanted to retaliate against another people that they said was disrespecting them and their friends. They had guns, they have everything, and they planned to go and kill these young boys because the young boys met around. They shot, the plan was that they would shoot this guy and kill this boy. They had cutlass and they were attacking these boys. The mom said when the police eventually came to raid their house, they were shocked. She was shocked at the kinds of weapons that were discovered in the house. She was living in the house. She did not even know that the children are now the ones that help drug dealers and gang members to keep ammunition. The boy that they attacked, the boy ran away. They were shooting the boy until this boy almost died there. This boy now is now on life support. The mother called me and she was crying. Who do you blame for the situation? Do you blame the father or do you blame the mother who was working night and day to put food on the table? The police have told them that they are asking for the full weight of the law on these young boys. These two brothers and sisters, they are only 20. They were sentenced to jail just a few weeks ago, life imprisonment. Brothers and sisters, only 20. These other ones, the police CPS have told them that they will be asking for the full weight of the law. If you have any young children growing up in London, be vigilant. Please, I know life is hard. Do not chase money to the point where you will forget your children. If you know anyone that lives in South London or anywhere in the Western world, share this video with them, because this is not a problem that is happening only in London. It's happening everywhere in the Western world. There are valuable lessons that can be learned. If you see any value in this video, kindly give it a